71st all-time meeting between these two teams. Back inside PNC Arena. Quickly, we take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders for the Hurricanes. It's Cam Ward, who had 21 saves in a 4-1 loss at Vancouver on Tuesday night. Thursday night in South Florida, Mike Smith stopped 24 in a 2-1 loss. The Coyotes have lost 2 games in a row, and uncharacteristically, Mike Smith has struggled a bit this season. Jeff Skinner will take the spot of Alexander Semin, who was a healthy scratch tonight on Carolina's top line, with Eric Staal and Jiri Tlusty. Sit back and enjoy this one from Raleigh. First of 2 here at home for the Hurricanes this weekend. They get the Los Angeles Kings tomorrow night. Game that starts here with Hurricanes Live at 4:30. Tlusty through the center zone. On the attack, approaching Oliver Ekman-Larsson. To the wall they go. Justin Falk now will keep it deep. Zbynek McCulloch taking over for Arizona as they attempt to get it out. Shane Doan on the wall. Eric Staal turned out easily by Mike Smith. Ekman-Larsson paired on defense with the veteran Zbynek McCulloch. A quick up through the center zone intended for Shane Doan. He's hit on the play by Ron Hainsey. Riley Nash takes over for the Hurricanes, outfitted in their 3rd jerseys, the black sweaters tonight, as they're back in black here at home. Through the center ice area now, the Coyotes. The newcomer this season is Sam Gagner, ex of Edmonton. He'll get it deep. Ron Hainsey has plenty of time back in his own zone. The Hurricanes are 0-6-2 in their first 8. 0-1-1 here. And Arizona's 3 up, 5 down with a point gained. The overtime loss or shootout. Now it's played inside, right in on Mike Smith, and we get a stoppage of play. Bill Peters preaching accountability from day one, and Tripp, there's no question now.
You know, obviously the headline is that Russian-born forward Alex Semin is not in the lineup here tonight, and Bill Peters has made it very clear how much he believes in Semin. No coach ever wants to get to a point where you don't have him in the lineup, but it's accountability. It's supported by his general manager, Ron Francis, and I think that you never want to have to make a decision like this, but it's a good step for the future of this organization to create this type of honest competition.
No goals in his first 8. 2 assists, a -2, and that penalty late in Vancouver that was costly. The winningest coach in Arizona franchise history, Dave Tippett.
Well, and Dave Tippett didn't want to hear about anybody in Carolina's lineup or not. He says that Arizona, should match Carolina's desperation. They haven't won on the road, and they've started the last few years very well.
Icing here against the Coyotes. We take a look at the Rex Express Care injuries and scratches. Rex Healthcare, chosen for excellence.
And I believe that Jordan Staal we will sit down with tomorrow against the Stanley Cup champs, LA Kings. And Alex Semin, hey, listen, I look back to 2002. Marty Gelinas was waived, scored a goal to put Carolina in the Stanley Cup Finals a few months later.
Game 6, Eastern Conference Final against the Toronto Maple Leafs at the ACC. Out of the corner now. As you see it up close, a 4-man scrum. Patrick Dwyer grinding there with Michael Stone. Dwyer back in the lineup, first time since Game 2. Jay Harrison a shot, a penalty upcoming against Arizona. Loose this way for Brad Malone. He'll wind it deep in back of the goal. Dwyer with McClement out in front, off Smith. Corralled at the defense that time, and Arizona will go to the box. And Carolina just a $1.44 in. They get their first power play.
Well, you get Dwyer back in the lineup. You have a partial line change as Eric Staal had come on. And you're going to create either a chance or, in this case, a penalty, as Stone, the Western Hockey League product, is guilty of a hold. Let's watch here. As you see Stone with that free hand, it was slight as he heads to the box.
We'll have to let the officials know that it's Arizona now, Tripp. As you heard the announcement possibly there, they refer to this team as the old name. I promise I'll try not to say it. Out to center ice now. On the attack, Victor Rask, the rookie that had 6 shots in the loss against Vancouver Tuesday night. It goes by McCulloch, accepted by Tlusty, out in front. Off Ekman-Larsson to the outside. Jeff Skinner moved out of the zone that time by Lauri Korpikoski. As you see the power play numbers here, thanks to Duke Energy.
It's a good play from Oliver Ekman-Larsson doing his job in front. We talked about 2-on-1s in the pregame show. He has struggled, -11 in his own end. He did it well there.
Eric Staal. On the wing now, they cross. Falk intended for Staal by Smith. Played this way by Tlusty. Rask at the point, holding onto it. Jiri Tlusty from the wall. Rask again with a spinner, blocked in front by a guy who's great at it year in and year out, Zbynek McCulloch. Back out to center. Marty Erat almost stole the puck away from Justin Falk. Here's Jeff Skinner on the off wing. He'll dance on Ekman Larsson, who plays it well, and Erat now deposits the puck all the way back in the Carolina zone.
Ekman Larsson, those are two good defensive plays, something he's not known for. Victor Rask playing the point on one unit, Chris Terry on the other. Victor Rask played the point for the Calgary Hitmen and Junior in the West.
Drop pass, good shift by Chris Terry. In the zone to the outside it goes. Riley Nash walks in. Terry at his side, detected by Joe Vitale. Off the boards all the way down to Cam Ward, who plays it ahead of the icing line. Now Andre Sekera moves it back. That much time left in the power play. You see the shots on goal. Carolina with the first three here. This is the first of two between these two non-conference rivals. They will play again in Arizona on February 5th. Turning back here is Nathan Gerbe. The Coyotes won both games against Carolina a season ago. Inside it goes. Connor Murphy back to play it. Double teamed by Nash and Gerbe. Connor Murphy, whose dad played a long while in the NHL. Gord Murphy, fine defenseman, tries to make it happen. Elias Lindholm for Carolina. Checked on the play by David Schlemko. As now it's centered in front for Lindholm. Corralled by Smith, but they score! Elias Lindholm gets to a loose puck. He gets his first goal of the season, and the Hurricanes are off and running.
I love that Bellemare came way down low here, feeling the momentum generated from a power play that's just expired. And when you're trying to recreate offensive confidence, we showed Tulosti doing it for a team leading 5 goals, go to the front of the net. And Lindholm, that's a skill play. Really all of his energy and momentum going away from the net, settling it just enough, knowing Smith is down, lofting it over the fallen goaltender.
Nice force by Brett Bellemare, and then the finish by Elias Lindholm. Through center now, it comes all the way back to Cam Ward. Ward out to play it now, along the wall. McClement, Jay McClement looking for Zach Boychuk. Held in by the Coyotes, top of your screen and all the way back out. Keith Yandel on his horse, coming all the way back. Marty Erat will hand it off along the boards for Martin Hansel. He'll go deep in the trapezoid. Cam Ward out to play for the Hurricanes. He'll wrist it by Michael Stone and back out to center ice.
It's already a better exit from Boychuk. Feeling Stone coming down the wall. The Hurricanes worked on their defensive zone exclusively really on Thursday.
Elias Lindholm, first goal of the season. His Erat's shot is canceled that time by Jay Harrison. The Coyotes keep it deep. Brett Bellemare, primary assist. Riley Nash gets the other. The goal comes at 3:57. Mike Smith out to play it. Just about 5 minutes gone in this first period. John Tripp and Chantel with you as always. Tonight here on Fox Sports, Carolina's back-to-back home games. The LA Kings are in town. The coaching staff is here, and we will see them tomorrow night, commencing with Hurricanes Live at 4:30. Through the center zone, it comes all the way back in the Canes end, and Cam Ward is directing traffic.
Classic example of a power play can create momentum even when you don't score if you react well to it.
Down low, Justin Falk will take out his man that time. It's Rob Klinkhammer. Played top of your screen by Skinner, and away is Eric Stahl. He played just under 18 minutes, had an assist, and played very well in Vancouver on Tuesday night. He gets it from Sekera, and he'll chip it inside. Smith out to play it. You see it from ice level. This is Oliver Ekman Larsson. Klinkhammer back out to center. Bellemare had it, lost it. Now Ron Hainsey hands it off. Dumped out by Tulosti. Played here by Elias Lindholm. Hit hard on the transition that time, as stepping up on him was Oliver Ekman Larsson. Now McCulloch with a cross-corner dump in. Wedged along by Bellemare. As Arizona now keeps it deep. Riley Nash out to play it ahead of Mikhail Butker. And now Carolina will escape. Now they Nathan Gerbe back in the lineup. Last time in was October 16th at the New York Rangers. And now Connor Murphy tries to clear. Nash in control for Carolina. Stolen by Antoine Vermette. Back out they come. Outnumbered chance. Over the line. Butker holding onto it. Good defense that time by Ron Hainsey on him. Butker, who's gone 6 games without a goal, tries to make it happen. It deflects in the screen, and we get a stoppage of play. Great news for 19-year-old Elias Lindholm. His first goal of the season. That feels good. We bring you back with Bill Peters. He is tonight's Geico quote. The subject is Alexander Semin, and here we go. I made the decision that I think is best for the individual and the team. We want Semin to be a big part of it. We want him to play the game hard, play the game properly, play the game with pace and live up to his ability and his potential.
Well, first of all, if you're Bill Peters, you never want to have to do this. But, you know, I believe he made the correct decision. Semin can be one of the best players in the world if he does things quickly. And it starts with effort. Then everything else seems to follow suit. But I love the fact that Ron Francis backed up his coach for this accountability.
Now a chance off the draw. Lindholm roars in. It's broken up by Keith Yandel. Out of the corner now, Nathan Gerbe, Riley Nash, Elias Lindholm on this line. It's knocked down. Coyotes Gagne can't get it out. Here's Martin Erat. He'll get to it. Goes off a stick. It goes off Nathan Gerbe, and it comes all the way back. Riley Nash in control. On the flank now, it's Lindholm for Nash. A one-timer. It goes high. Loose along the boards now. A heavy hit. Going down in the process was Martin Erat. He was crunched by Riley Nash.
New part of Nash's game. Arizona's captain, Shane Doan, trades with him in the summer, and he said he noticed even training this summer, there's more of a rugged nature to Riley Nash's approach.
Michael Stone cuts it off for Arizona. Shane Doan hits a seam. It's Antoine Vermette. Good back check by Eric Stahl. Doan had it, lost it. McCulloch recoiling all the way back for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. McCulloch now in control. Sends it back as they reorganize. You're looking at Mikhail Butker. Butker on the off wing throws on the brakes. He's muscled a bit by Jay Harrison. It's wheeled along the boards and deep. Tim Gleason playing game number 500 as a Hurricane. Cut off by Ekman-Larsson. To the corner. Ekman-Larsson off the paddle of Cam Ward and sent directly out of play. Fans, if the Canes win, kids wearing Canes gear will be free tomorrow at participating Golden Corral restaurants. Help yourself to happiness.
Well, the Hurricanes, especially with where their confidence is at, but especially against this team, the way that Arizona plays, a game that if they score first, they really have a better chance of winning. Getting that first goal is so important.
Justin Hodgman now, a newcomer. Spent last year in the KHL, gets it back. He's been good on faceoffs. These two teams are at the top 1 and 2 of the National Hockey League. Carolina number 1 in terms of faceoffs. In control now. Korpikoski to an open corner. A steal in the forecheck. A good job that time by Patrick Dwyer. David Schlemko, who gave it away, elevates the puck all the way back in the Cane zone. No icing here, and they start over.
Gerbe and Dwyer, their work ethic has been noticeable. Gerbe on the entry on the goal. There you see Dwyer, and you see why Bill Peters was so excited to have him back.
Well, finally gets his fourth line, the one that he wanted when they drew this up in the offseason. McClement, Malone, Dwyer, that's the way it was, but because of the injury and a variety of other reasons, the injury to Dwyer and other things, especially McClement, he's been forced to bump up. Now they transition. Here's Terry over the line with a shot blocked by Keith Yandel. Yandel has been playing great. Kyle Chipchura back in his own zone. The Coyotes start again. Handoff. Yandel on and off the stick that time of Brandon McMillan. It comes all the way back. Michael Stone looks it over. Through the center zone, a chip by McMillan. Getting back to it, Andre Sekera, and a penalty being called here for interference by Mark Jonette.
Justin Falk actually, I think, has had a very good start to this hockey game, and you know he'll have to make sure that this barrier, he doesn't like the call. His gaps have been good. He's been strong on the puck. I remember a play earlier in the period where a Phoenix player nearly stripped him of it, but he was strong on it. Yeah, it's the right call by the referee. You know, years ago, McMillan, you know, that's a good holdup, but Justin's got to allow the Arizona player to be entitled to that ice.
Arizona number 2 in the young season with their power play. They are 5 out of 19 in the last 5 in the 2-point men. This guy, Yandel, and this guy, Ekman-Larsson, are outstanding. Yandel to the outside. Butker with a shot, a tip out in front. Cam Ward said no. A dandy. Antoine Vermette in the dead slot. And Ward on the spot.
See, this whole power play is all about Yandel and Ekman-Larsson. And Yandel usually finds Ekman-Larsson. Watch here, okay? Here's Ekman-Larsson. Watch how he receives this puck in stride. And all of a sudden, he's so much more dangerous, plays a game of catch, and that creates the initial chance for super save.
Yandel hands it off. Butker. Inside it goes. Doan off the paddle that time of Cam Ward. Yandel turning with it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson all the way across. Mikhail Butker. Diagonally across. Ekman-Larsson just wide. Getting to it is Mikhail Butker. Skate to stick. Yandel. Now Butker. Vermette. He'll give it back to the wall, and Bottker. Now Yandel, the Boston native, holding on to it. Bottker down the boards, holding on to that puck. Doan side of the goal, off sticks, knocked down legally by Vermette. Snapped along by Yandel. Shane Doan sends it back to Keith Yandel. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, he'll stretch it out. Vermette this way for Bottker. Again, back for Ekman-Larsson. Bottker now holding on to it. Inside it goes. Antoine Vermette off a stick. A good stick by Harrison. Carolina tries to get it out. Doan, a heavy hit that time on Dwyer, but the Canes, as we see, get it out. Ekman-Larsson off now for Vermette. Inside it goes for Shane Doan. Double team played by Brett Belmore. Has plenty of time and space, and out she goes.
Weak side forward is such an indication if Carolina is having a good kill. Dwyer did it beautifully there to strip that pass.
Ekman-Larsson on Riley Nash, who now scampers away from Keith Yandel. Yuri Tlusty checked by Sam Gagne. Grind along the board. Smart choice by Carolina's 19. Keep it deep. That much time left in the power play. Final push for Arizona. Here they come. Through the center ice area, Martin Hansel. Lead feed, Sam Gagne taken down. Taken down that time as getting back on him was Brad Malone. Now Ekman-Larsson is punished. Hit hard and hit high that time by Belmore, and a penalty is called here.
They're going to call a board here. The Hurricanes are going to head back to the box. Huge save from Cam Ward, and then watch Dwyer right here. Boy, is this the body on a swivel with the stick leading the way. Beautiful play on Yandel, who's been Arizona's best player so far this season. Before that, Cam Ward with a point-blank save. Yeah, you're seeing all numbers here. You can't finish Ekman-Larsson in this case if you're Yuri Tlusty.
It's Tlusty, a 2-minute minor as we see. It's boarding, and he will sit. 13 seconds of 5-on-3 time. Arizona has yet to score a 5-on-3 goal this season. Carolina has yielded one.
And talk about these two teams, big face-off leaders in the league. This is the biggest draw so far.
Vermette. Face-off one back. Ekman-Larsson at the point. He'll walk it across. Here's Yandel. Inside they go. Shane Doan, their captain, looks around. Ekman-Larsson straight away off bodies, deflecting off Jay McLennan. Over the stick of Ekman-Larsson, Justin Falk is out of the box. Here he comes. His shot turned out by Mike Smith. He spat out a rebound, but here come the Coyotes back the other way. Doan, Vermette, crisscrossing. Ekman-Larsson, Yandel, a one-timer. He mishit it. Knocked out of midair by Vermette. His pass all the way back now for Yandel. Ekman-Larsson cruises in. Ward swallows. No further play.
Arizona gave up the game-winning goal to Florida the other night with Scotty Upshall coming out of the box. And you can bet that they're trying to be more aware. This puck bounces on Ekman-Larsson. They nearly give up another goal with a player just out of the box based on that. That's not even a shot from Falk. That's an intended pass off of that blocker side pad of Mike Smith. Smart play.
Justin, who's part of Movember, clean shaven now. He'll work on that this month. One of 11 Hurricanes that will do that. Charitable effort, league-wide. Carolina now stays on the kill. The Hurricane penalty killing 17 out of 19 they have killed off in the last 5 as that puck deflects. We get a break in play. 8:31 left in period 1.
And this is a rare situation because of the abbreviated 5-on-3 that you do not see Yandel and Ekman-Larsson on the point for Arizona. Usually they will have that vacancy occupied for the entire 2-minute span.
This time it's David Schlemko and Michael Stone off the draw. Schlemko back again. Stone walks the line this time. Gagne hurried. A good job. Coming out, Sekera on him. He gets it from Nash. Andre Sekera pulls up. Off of the paddle of Mike Smith. Riley Nash down low. Crunched on the play by David Schlemko. Martin Erat tries to dig it out for Arizona. Gagne looks around. 56 seconds left on their second power play. Sam Gagne takes a hit to make a play. Marty Erat on the off wing. Centers across. Forked wide by Hansel. Moving up, Gagne back again. Michael Stone. Point to point. David Schlemko. He'll walk it. Inside for Erat. Up top, Stone. His shot goes high. Loose in back of the goal. Justin Falk is on it. He has time. He has room. Off the stick of Gagne, and he kills some of it here. 29 seconds left on the manpower advantage.
For those that watched our pregame show, we talked about Steve Smith working on 2-on-1s in practice. Did you see the way Falk really did a good job on the shooting lane there?
Here comes Yandel. They're offside. Hodgman along the near boards, offside as they cross. Let's take a look at tonight's Storm Tracker. Our game keys.
I should say Falcon passing lane, not the shooting lane. John, check on the first one. The Hurricanes, for the second time this season, have scored first. They also did at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. The dynamic duo of Yandel and Ekman-Larsson, and clean exits out of their defensive zone. A big, big priority in practice on Thursday.
In the 8 games, Bill Peters and his crew have only had the lead for just under 13 minutes. And that was the game in New York when Chris Terry scored. And now they get that first goal, which emotionally gets them jump-started. Most importantly, gets them an opportunity to play as they want to and not chase it. Out of the box, Jiri Tlusty. Carolina has killed off 2. Arizona will get it deep. Rob Klinkhammer played well against Carolina last year. In control, Klinkhammer. This way for McCulloch. He'll dust it off. Zbynek McCulloch, a wrister, off the pad of Ward on a tip. I believe off Tlusty on the way through. Now Hodgman, the rookie, off the stick of Lindholm, and it goes out of play. 6:49 left to go in period 1. Canes assistant Steve Smith with Chantel McCabe on the other side.
Back in the first, I'm on the bench with assistant coach Steve Smith. It's a 1-0 lead for your team. 2 huge penalty kills. How do you continue to build momentum?
Well, I think what we've done is we've managed the puck really well. We've got it in deep. We've got on top of their D. We've done some good things offensively, and because we've handled the puck so well, it's allowed us to be pretty strong on our own end.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
John, back to you.
Thank you, Chantel. And they kill off a unit here with Arizona, clicking at almost 27%.
I mean, it's the second-rated power play in the National Hockey League. I mean, it's been the best part of what Arizona has done so far this year. This penalty killing has been quite a story after its slow start here in the first couple of games.
Elias Lindholm, his first goal of the season. It came at 3:57. A foot race. Cam Ward! And it just goes off for Medin wide as Ward came out to play it. And it almost was a bad break there against Carolina.
The decision was very good for Cam. He had no hesitation. A goalie can't. He's got to decide to stay or go, but the execution wasn't as good. They work on that, both goalies, with David Barcoo before most practices.
Now goes to the corner. Justin Folk away now as they start ahead. The top line of Stahl. The guy with the puck, Jeff Skinner, Jiri Tlusty. Skinner's in for a shot. Deflected high in the screen by Zbynek McCulloch. Let's take a look at Cam Ward making that decision with conviction and getting it done.
Yeah, you can really appreciate he made his decision very, very quickly. But I think the puck bounced on him a little bit, and there was tremendous desperation on the part of Antoine Vermette, who's always been a pretty darn good player against the Hurricanes, dating back to being an Ottawa Senator.
Coyotes have lost 2 in a row. Game 3 of a 4-game road trip that ends tomorrow in Washington. The first 2 losses against Tampa Bay and Florida. Florida 2-1 on Thursday night. Now they get it ahead. Yandel broken up by Jay Harrison. Around the boards for Nathan Gerbe. Through the middle of the ice, a loose puck is received. Good job that time by Keith Yandel. And the Coyotes get it deep. Harrison in a foot race with Kyle Chipchura. In support, Joe Fatale. Looking for Brandon McMillan. Played here on a cycle by Chipchura. Off sticks it goes astray. Getting to it is Keith Yandel. Yandel now off a body off Lindholm and back out to the center zone.
So Lindholm's doing all the little things here in this first period. This is good to see. It's showing some depth to his confidence. It's showing that, the 2 days of practice after traveling back from Western Canada, he's used productively.
Shots are 7-3 Carolina, where it counts, as you see, by 1. Transition play for Arizona. They move up. Here's Hansel. His shot, a good save by Cam Ward, and it goes out of play. 5 minutes flat left to go in period 1. Cam Ward getting it done early. 1-0. Hurricanes. We're back in Raleigh. Tripp, great to see Nathan Gerbe on the left and Patrick Dwyer on the right, back in the lineup.
They both bring energy. Watch Gerbe just on what eventually is the only goal of the game. Wins that foot race, gets in with puck support. Second man comes in beautifully. I think that's Riley Nash. All of a sudden, you're off to work on the forecheck. Again, the high man comes in. You win board battles. Belmore does his thing, and then Lindholm eventually scores. I mean, that's all good stuff. But it starts with Gerbe's work ethic.
Face-off as we see in the Carolina zone. Brett Belmore pressured on the forecheck by Arizona's Sam Gagner. Jeff Skinner had it, lost it. Hansel deflects it back now for Keith Yandel. He's flushed out a bit by Jiri Tlusty. Marty Erat, next of Nashville, Washington. Choked off in the center zone by Eric Stahl. The captain now moves it by the defense by Yandel. Hansel coming back, and now Michael Stone. Good pass here, underneath it and out. Keith Yandel. He'll carry along Kane center ice. Martin Hansel goes by Ron Hainsey. Now Erat out of the corner. Gagne gives chase for Arizona. Knocked down by Eric Stahl in the defensive zone. He'll shield the puck. Hold on to it. Leave it there. Entangled with Hansel. And it's carried back out here by Ron Hainsey. Hainsey over the line to the wall. Zbynek McCulloch is on it. Arizona starts over.
Hainsey blocked a shot in practice yesterday and got off in apparent pain. So the fact that he's playing is a good thing to see in the first place.
Arizona out to center ice. Korpikoski forced the offside on himself, and we get a stoppage. PNC Arena's lighting system underwent a complete overhaul as Musco Lighting installed its state-of-the-art system using LED technology developed and manufactured by Durham One and NC-based Cree Incorporated. The installation made PNC Arena the first NHL venue in the United States to feature LED lighting.
Well, that's beautiful. I mean, I can only talk from a goaltender's perspective. You really appreciated the buildings that had tremendous lighting. You just felt an edge that you could see pucks better.
So now, when we have the alumni game in April, you'll get a shutout.
Well, I had so many deficiencies. That was just one advantage.
Well said. Now, Ward shuts the door. Good chance by Korpikoski. Getting to it is Patrick Dwyer. He'll sail it all the way back off the boards in the Coyote zone, and on it is McCulloch. They go across. Hodgman along the boards. The indirect pass doesn't work, and turning with it is Jay Harrison. Harrison paired on defense with Tim Gleason, who plays his offside, the right side. He'll dump it in here, and icing is called.
I love the process here in starting Ward tonight, because Thursday he was lights out in practice. It wasn't here. It was at the practice facility nearby. And Bill Peters told you in your interview with him in our pregame show that was the main criterion, the fact that he went with Cam. Probably Hudobin against the Stanley Cup champs with a 5 o'clock start tomorrow, but his practices, I think, warranted the start for Cam.
You will be between the benches tomorrow night for the first time this season. We look forward to that.
You're going to say between the pipes. And
well, that's not going to happen.
No. Maybe not even an alumni game.
That will happen. That's the draw, part of the draw, I will say. Not all of it. Shane Willis can attest to it. We welcome him. Did an outstanding job. Hurricanes live tonight with Chantel McCabe. Now turning back in the zone, Mikhail Butker. Out to center for the captain, Shane Doan, 11 years running. He walks in for a chance. Oh, he was forced wide. Cam Ward got a piece. Butker blocked by Lindholm. Justin Falk in control, and Carolina will survive.
Excellent pass from Butker, and Doan shows he can still do it. What a condition, captain.
Comes all the way back for Justin Falk. His shot. Smith says no twice. Lindholm scores! Elias Lindholm with his second goal tonight. And Carolina has a 2-0 lead.
How often do you see it? A goalie makes a big save with the knob of his stick. Cam Ward on fellow Westerner Shane Doan. And the Hurricanes, this line that has been terrific, reading off of one another, going to the dirty areas. I mean, when you see Gerby, Nash, and the high forward, Lindholm, all within an arm's length of that Arizona crease, good things are going to happen. And what a start for this line, and Lindholm, the finisher.
Well, Peters talked to us yesterday about the front of the net, how important that is. It's an obvious statement. Chipped wide, Joe Vitale. Right out in front, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. That area is vital. They had two players there, Lindholm with the finish. The second goal of this period in Carolina, out shooting Arizona 10-5. They have a 2-0 lead. Lindholm is second from Riley Nash, who has 2 points already. And Justin Falk. And the goal comes at 17:22. Sam Gagne will get it deep. Around the boards it goes. Hansel taken down by Belmore. Eric Stahl looks for Skinner. Back to the point. Played here nicely by Ekman Larson. Off sticks out in front. Cam Ward got the paddle down. And he's run into by Martin Erat, who was shoved in by Ron Hainsey. Now Skinner along the wall. Ekman Larson with a wrister tipped wide. Now the Coyotes are buzzing as it comes out. You're looking at Jeff Skinner. Looks to put on a show. His shot shut down by Smith. And Gagne will tap it back to Mike Smith, and we get a break in play.
Marty Erad is trying to prove that last year was literally an aberration, and he gets himself behind everybody. Watch the stick of Cam Ward. See how he moves into the shot? He's attacking with it. He also did it on Doan's semi-breakaway before the goal. And then the collision afterwards. David Marcoux, the goalie coach, who I believe is going to be inside the Hurricane between periods, has really been working with him. He's telling him all the time in practice, use the stick, use the stick, use the stick. He's using it tonight.
1:26 left in the period. Sekera with a shot off sticks off McClement. Coyotes have control. You're looking at Shane Doan. He attempts to play it to himself. Turning Vermette, canceled out in front by Falk. Brad Malone will dump it all the way back out. 69 seconds left to go in period one. Shots 11-6 as you see, favoring Carolina. With an outstanding period, looking for their first win of this season. Over the line now, Butker, broken up by Sekera. Dumped out by Malone, and the Coyotes start again.
Dave Tippett, Arizona's coach, talked to Butker for a long time after practice yesterday.
Justin Falk going down at the line, and we have some blood on the play. On the stretch pass, it was tipped, caught him high, and he'll go to the room.
I really am impressed with Falk's first period. You know, he took a penalty, which was interference, but then he came back and continued, to me, what is play that should give you hope. And, you know, the reason that this puck catches him high is, and this is a look from our Phantom Cam, which I'm not going to get into the technology, but gives you about 1 million frames per second.
Yeah, we can see it.
And you can actually see where the puck catches him. And, you know, it doesn't happen if Justin has a loose gap, which he has at different points earlier in October. His game's on the rise, and let's just hope that he can get repairs and come back because he's showing some real promise.
We will have that technology, that being the Phantom Cam, tonight and tomorrow night, the big game against the Los Angeles Kings.
I'm very encouraged by what Justin Falk, you know, Bill Peters and Steve Smith running the defense. They split up he and Sekera. They said it was because of back-to-back nights to have a little bit more balance in Edmonton last Friday. Put them back together against the Steeds. I thought they did a good job. And they've been good here again in this first period. And I expect Falk back. That's how tough hockey players are. Don't be deterred by the blood.
When the Canes score 3 or more goals, get a free large pizza when you buy a large regular priced pizza online at participating Papa John's the day after the Canes score 3 or more. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 44 seconds left in period one. John Tripp and Chantel with you as always. It's all the way back in the zone. Icing is called here against Arizona.
And Elias Lindholm has 2 goals here in this first period. He's the benefactor and a deserving one of an excellent line. Riley Nash and Nathan Gerbe, I give them a lot of credit. They scored 13 seconds after that early Carolina power play. Those are important shifts, and I think they knew it. They needed to press on that shift.
Lucky Lindy will be Tripp's guest as part of the PNC Bank first intermission tonight with Chantel McCabe. Now out of the corner. Skinner holding onto it inside for Stahl. Stahl now away from Hodgman, played outside the line by Jay Harrison. Harrison now will scale it in. Mike Smith lets it go. 19 seconds left in the period. Essential to get off to a good start after the first 8. And the long 5-game road swing, and the Hurricanes have accomplished goal number 1. Rolls in front of Cam Ward, played by Jay Harrison around the wall, carried in offside by Zbynek McCulloch.
One important face-off here to finish the first period. No, it won't be as important because it will be in the neutral zone, but Carolina has done exactly what Bill Peters asked them to do. They have pushed the pace. You've seen more pace to their game. And, boy, it's good to see Lindholm just in his sophomore season. Look at Nathan McKinnon, a sophomore in Colorado. A lot of these sophomores facing challenges.
The horn sounds, signifying the end of period 1. Great period, and great to see Elias Lindholm with his first 2 goals of the season. He will be Tripp's guest as part of the PNC Bank first intermission. That's what else you will see. 20 down here in Raleigh. It's the Hurricanes 2 and the Coyotes no score on Fox Sports Carolinas. Back for the second period. Excellent first for Elias Lindholm. Total package, second career 2-goal game. All the intangibles there. We are ready for the second 20. John Forsland, Trip Tracy, Chantel McCabe, along with our fine crew. Welcome back to PNC Arena here in Raleigh. First of two this weekend at home. The Hurricanes take on the defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings. Starting with Hurricanes live right here tomorrow night at 4:30. Arizona deep in their own zone. They attempt to get it out. Along the boards now. It pops out. Along the wall, Mikkel Boedker. Broken up by Eric Staal. Off of Mike Smith. He'll freeze.
Yeah, with what this early season has been for Mike Smith, you want to continue to throw everything you can at the net. I mean, this has been an elite goalie in hockey the last few years, but right now he's searching to find his confidence. Eric Staal knows that. You know, might catch him cheating off the post in Toulouse, who's sitting on 5 goals that we showed at the top of the show because he's been going to the front of the net. He was lurking there too.
Yeah, Smith's goals against coming in just under 4 and a save percentage .866. He's not used to that. Martin Erat controlling. He'll circle away from Jay Harrison. Drop it off now for Martin Hanzal. Hanzal, the big body. Riley Nash is on him. Sam Gagner, Erat back to the point. Keith Yandel sweeping across, skate to stick. Stone broken up by Nathan Gerbe with Lindholm. Here he comes. It's swallowed by Mike Smith.
Gerbe, I'm surprised. It's his work ethic again. He nearly drew a hook, but still persevered and created a 2-on-1 with just a tight coverage play at the blue line. Let's watch here. Does that stick get parallel? Ooh, very close, but he keeps going, drives. Very well-conditioned athlete, and Smith, who's going to stay deep. That's one thing. People are talking, should he come out and challenge more? Sean Burke, his goalie coach, former Hurricane, they're keeping him deep.
Gerbe back in the lineup. He last played at the New York Rangers October 16th, the beginning of the road swing. The only game played in the East, then 4 games out West. He missed all of those. He and Pat Dwyer back in the lineup here tonight. In the center zone, along the wall, Zach Boychuk with Chris Terry. Terry hits a seam off a stick, off McCulloch. Zbynek, McCulloch, and back of Smith. Justin Hodgman now coming back. This guy can play it very well. Mike Smith, he'll hand it off for the D, and they start again.
They told me yesterday the biggest part of playing the puck well is that your players know how to react when you're going to play it. He says that is what made Marty Brodeur so successful for so many years playing it. He never makes a mistake, but his players know how to react off of what he does.
Patrick Dwyer for Carolina sweeps it ahead. Connor Murphy, but Jay McClement gets there first. Murphy on him. The young rookie defenseman, first-round pick in 2011, out to center ice. Coyotes on the transition. Brandon McMillan gets after it. 22 in white, pinned by Tim Gleason. Had 5 hits in Vancouver on Tuesday. McMillan on a cycle, hands it off to Kyle Chipchura. Chipchura now winds it along the wall. McMillan let it go. Joe Vitale, top of your screen. Connor Murphy. Murphy in control, out in front, off Vitale. He was tied up nicely by Jay Harrison. They jam along the boards now. Out of the 4-man scrum. They continue to jockey as you see it up close. It pops out. McClement away now for Brad Malone, who plays it along the boards, attempting to get it to himself. Broken up by David Schlemko. Carolina on a change has to be careful as Mikkel Boedker was taken down. Now the Hurricanes have an opportunity to regroup.
Clean defensive zone exits. McClement came over nicely there.
Eric Staal defended by Arizona's David Schlemko. Shane Doan. Cross ice pass, Mikkel Boedker. Boedker's in for a shot. Ward says no twice as he robs Vermette. Cam Ward gets back on Antoine Vermette. An outstanding effort.
Boy, an explosive rebound save. He had no choice but to spit that rebound out where he did. It was a good shot from Boedker. Absolutely sensational.
Ekman Larsson now ahead of Eric Staal. Zbynek McCulloch deep in his own zone. On the wall, Antoine Vermette. At his side, Sam Gagner knocked out of midair nicely by Shane Doan. He'll throw it across for McCulloch. Play it off the boards. Get it deep. Intended for Hanzal. Hanzal checked on the play by Riley Nash. Into it now is Ron Hainsey. He'll send it all the way back out to the center zone where it's fielded by Oliver Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson now. A long pass intended for Gagner. Ron Hainsey for the Hurricanes. This way for Brett Belmore. A quick up. Out to neutral ice. Lindholm for Gerbe. Nathan Gerbe cuts. Takes a hit from Stone, but he got it deep. Keith Yandel for Arizona. Top of your screen, it's Sam Gagner, and back out. Martin Erat, shielded at the line by Gleason. Carried in by Martin Hanzal. He'll wheel it across, but back out to center, and the Coyotes recoil.
Injured at the start of the year. Hansel's a big body. Won 5 of 6 faceoffs in the first.
Anye plays along for Erat, snared easily by Cam Ward, and no further play.
It just goes to show you, watching Vancouver, he just looked Cam better and better. His practices were great. What a save. That's the athletic ability of Cam Ward. Bottker, smart shot. Oh, beautiful. You've got to load off of that right skate, boom, and then just explode. And it was almost a hybrid type save where, he was halfway up, halfway down. Old school goaltending, Grant Fuhr-esque.
Numbers so far for number 30. Played now by Tim Gleason. Unattainable pass intended for Brad Malone. Icing is called here against Carolina. Let's take a look at the first period numbers, brought to you by Buffalo Brothers. Aw, man, now I want wings. Shots attempted were even at 20. Carolina had 5 scoring chances in the period. Arizona winning 15 of the 23 faceoffs.
Carolina easily could have gone back to Hudobin as they've been rotating, for the first month of the year. Neither guy has gotten hot. But based on practice, to me, it was a no-brainer. And the right decision was made. And I just love that because it teaches all sorts of players that, practices matter. They matter for your performance and your confidence, but they also matter as we talk about accountability. Of course, we came on at the top of the show talking about accountability and as it relates to, Alexander Semin not being in the lineup tonight. To me, this is a very positive step for a cultural change in this Carolina organization.
Semin a healthy scratch for the second time in his career. Late November in 2011, he was scratched by then Washington coach Bruce Boudreau, and oddly enough, the game was against the Phoenix Coyotes.
I didn't know that.
And then they were Phoenix. Tonight, Arizona. We'll get back to it as they rebrand the franchise with new owners, which is a good move when it comes all the way back in.
And I have every belief that as long as Semin just establishes a work ethic, he remains one of the true top players in the world, but he has to play the game fast, which Carolina is doing a noticeable job through almost the first half of this one.
When it happens to a player, the rest is up to him. Skinner holding on to it. He has the talent to do it the right way and come back and make a difference. Now Ekman-Larsson. Bottker back out. Played by Sekera. Stahl moves it back for Fultz. To the middle of the ice, shoveled ahead by Skinner. Swept along that time by Arizona's Michael Stone. It pinballs in. Talusti has Skinner. Here he is on Smith, who shuts it down. Mike Smith comes up big on Jeff Skinner.
Well, Yuri Talusti, we showed his goals in our open, but he's doing so many other things. Here comes up with a puck. Let's watch Talusti. And then let's watch Skinner. Skinner was going for a line change. And Stahl had a part in it too, so all 3 guys create the chance for Jeff Skinner. And you see, Smith, he ain't leaving that blue paint no matter what. And there, he really closed up the holes around that body.
Good save by Mike Smith on the draw. Nash had it, lost it. McCulloch taps it along out to center ice. Sam Gagner. Checked by Justin Fultz. Martin Hanzal, 6'6", with that long reach. Sekera. Gagner gives chase. Nash is back for Carolina. Erat, Hanzal to the point. McCulloch. Inside it goes, Martin Erat. His shot blocked in front off Andre Sekera, and the Hurricanes will escape harm. Riley Nash 2-on-2 with Elias Lindholm as they crisscross. Nash holding onto it to the outside of Ekman-Larsson. He goes down. No call. Dug out by Martin Hanzal.
So easily could have drawn a call. It looked like a trip. Nash continues to play pretty consistent hockey. He's had a couple off nights, but not many. He's been a guy that's really hit every checkpoint.
Reverse. Gleason to Harrison around the boards. Getting to it, McClement. Tim Gleason indirectly out to center. Hodgman cuts it off. He's taken down. A loose puck as we see. Lindholm with both goals tonight. Justin Hodgman had it, lost it. Buried in the zone now by Arizona's Klinkhammer. Run into by Gleason. A sturdy check there. Gleason stays with it. Klinkhammer is on him. Hodgman centers one, broken up, played off the boards and out, and taking a hit in the process, Elias Lindholm.
Arizona's been better here in this period. They're starting to try to push, and you can just feel the next goal in this game is going to determine how tight of a game it's going to be.
They have lost 2 in a row. Carolina winless in their last 5 games which were all played on the road and winless in their first 8 of this season at 0-6-2 all the way across. Connor Murphy wide of Cam Ward, loose to the corner. Brett Belmore is on it at the point. Moved by Schlemko, and covering up here is Connor Murphy. He'll go across. 12:40 left to go in the second period. On 2 goals by Elias Lindholm, Carolina with a 2-0 lead. Vitale gets it deep. Good look at Victor Rask. He'll wind it up, and a penalty is called here. Kyle Chipchura getting entangled with Tim Gleason. We'll tell you about it when we come back. 12:31 left to go in the second period. Carolina by a deuce.
Well, Kamloops, British Columbia is where these two train and have done so for the last many summers. And Shane Doan told me yesterday, he said, what I like most about Riley Nash these last couple of summers, and especially this summer, is he's starting to show a little bit of a meanness to him. What they do is they play a full contact soccer game, and usually it's the older guys. Shane's run this camp for years against the younger guys. The younger guys needed some help. They're usually 21 and under, usually junior players. So Riley joined that team, and he and Shane went at it. Wow. Full contact at one point. Shane, they were going at each other all up and down the soccer field, and Shane was really encouraged because he hadn't seen this dimension in Riley Nash. And we've seen that translate to playing with more of an edge on the ice.
Yeah.
So these two have a very tight connection.
He did a good job. He came back bigger. I mean, you could tell by looking at Riley. Ekman Larsson on the power play with a shot kicked out with a purpose by Cam Ward, Kyle Chipchura, and Tim Gleason each get penalties for interference at 7:29. So we go to 4-on-4. Arizona's yielded 1 goal in this scenario. They've yet to score one, and Carolina has yet to score or give up a 4-on-4 goal. Marty Erat throws on the brakes ahead of Ron Hainsey. Back to the point, Zabinik McCulloch between the wickets of Oliver Ekman Larsson. He'll go deep. Knocked down here by Martin Hansel, gained by Carolina's Brett Belmore. He's away, and he'll feed it all the way back in the Arizona zone.
Belmore, not known to be the quickest of guys. A good first step there. Long second period change, further to go to get to the bench. Gets it deep. He's been solid.
Ekman Larsson leading this team in terms of ice time. Andre Sekera cuts it off of the Hurricanes. Skinner moving up in the zone, right in for a chance. Shut down by Smith.
But he has made 2 sparkling saves, Mike Smith on Skinner in the last few minutes. And then Arizona comes back in this game. What a play by Nash. And look at Skinner. Look at the strength. By the way, doesn't come into play here, I think, just because of Skinner's strength. But there's our new tripping wrinkles this year. Even if you get the puck first, you can be guilty of a trip.
Right.
There, Skinner spread those legs. You see how strong he is because he's standing on his feet.
Pretty good skater coming back on Mr. Skinner also in that scenario. Ekman Larsson now it comes back for Keith Yandel out of the corner. The LA Kings are here, the Stanley Cup champs. Tomorrow night, trip will be between the benches. We will start with Hurricanes live at 4:30 on Fox Sports Carolinas. The Canes hit the road Tuesday night. We're in Columbus. Sekera and Harrison ahead of Antoine Vermette. Justin Falk now hinging from his own zone. In full flight out to center ice, Victor Rask. Got pass for Lindholm. Inside it goes. Falk is camped out. He'll cut on Vermette. Hold on to it to the outside. It goes by Victor Rask as we see, and now he has it. Victor cuts, holds on to it. Cutting now with it is Elias Lindholm with a tight turn. Sekera give back. Carried by Eric Stahl. Stahl's in. Shut down by Smith the dandy. All the way back up top. Skinner's cruising. His shot stopped by Mike Smith.
Smith has elevated his game here in this second period, has made 4 or 5 grade A stops to keep this game 2-0. Of course, a couple on Skinner. Perfect line change. Stahl's just off the bench. That's why he has so much jump. Heck of a move to the middle. And again, you see Smith. He's a guy that can play deep because he's so big. And, it allows him not to be moving when shots are taken. And boy, that is a thing of beauty there, and then he's able to hold on.
See the shots. A good number for the Hurricanes. The 2-goal lead now along the boards. Stahl whips it all the way across. Creeping in, Hainsey bumped on the play by McMillan. The jam along the boards carried out by Joe Vitale. Vitale hands it off to Chipchura. This way, Ekman Larsson. And Cam Ward got a piece and possibly the goal post. Loose along the wall, Brandon McMillan. Out in front by Chipchura. McCulloch with a shot through Ward and through the blue and out. Played along the boards now by McMillan for Kyle Chipchura. He'll stop. He has Vitale out in front. Now Brandon McMillan for Joe Vitale. Vitale turns, swept off his stick nicely by Eric Stahl, and it's carried out by Jiri Tolusti. He's run into by Ekman Larsson. You see it come back.
Tolusti, such a settling influence defensively on this line with Eric Stahl in the middle and then Skinner on the other side. He knew the importance of gaining the red line.
Now Justin Falk ahead of Sam Gagne. Back out. Martin Erat this way for David Schlemko. Not play Thursday night, inserted by Dave Tippett tonight. Tries to go deep with it. He does. Andrej Sekera has time in his own zone. Move ahead for Patrick Dwyer. Dwyer broken up by Sam Gagne all the way back, and now the Coyotes go D to D.
Falk is wearing a full cage. He has the option with that injury of wearing an eye tech. He must have decided on the cage. Does he have trouble seeing the puck? When he's handling it, we'll have to watch.
David Schlemko will bounce it in. Cam Ward can't play it there. Martin Hansel gets after it. Gagne in support. Broken up and carried out by Falk and back out to center. Over the line, they cross. Shot taken, deflecting high off the stick of Brad Malone. Loose along the board. Sam Gagne gets to it. Arizona now transitions back. They'll get a line change as they get it deep.
Equipment managers Skip Cunningham, Bob Gorman, George Alms, Dave Paul. What a job they do of outfitting Falk so quickly.
That's right. Now Riley Nash with a shot caught by Mike Smith and no further play. 8:34 left to go in the second period. Cam Ward has been sharp tonight. This one leaks a little bit on him, and it goes through the blue and out.
There's a lot of good people. Skippy was the ultimate guy in making sure you had whatever you needed to be successful, and that included encouragement. Just talking to you. It's one thing to be the equipment manager, another thing to be a good friend, help each other. And I think we had that in that situation at Hartford for a long time. A lot of good people that supported each other, and it's amazing how many people have stayed good friends from a long time ago. So Skippy is a good man, real good man.
I love the two E's, equipment and, more importantly, encouragement.
Yeah.
And they had a great embrace yesterday before Arizona practice. Skip and Dave Tippett, we just talked about the job that Skip and his team with Bob Gorman, George Alves, Dave Paul did in making the equipment adjustment for Justin Falk. Absolutely stellar and a Hall of Famer in every sense, Skip Cunningham is.
Hall of Fame person, no doubt. Now it's fielded off the glove of Keith Yandel. Michael Stone, a reverse here for the Coyotes. They start again. Carolina leading with 2 goals from Elias Lindholm in period 1 from ice level. Justin Hodgman tries to get after it for Arizona. Broken up and carried out by Carolina's Victor Rask. Across it goes Boychuk with a shot swallowed by Mike Smith.
Just as the Hurricanes are a team, the equipment guys are a team too. So Falk catches via our Phantom camera, which can slow things down as you can visually see. It's phenomenal technology, and Falk takes that puck right up underneath that visor right near the end of the first period. So then he's in the locker room, and they'll say to him, hey, Justin, what do you want to wear? Do you want to wear an eye tech? Do you want to wear a full cage? Do you want to leave just the visor on? And then they put it on very, very quickly and probably give him some encouragement, as Tippett talked about too.
Encouragement in all facets of life, very important, as you know. Comes all the way around. Antoine Vermette now goes inside for Shane Doan. He's tied up by Andrej Sekera. Stays with it. Broken up now by Eric Stahl and back out. Through the center ice area, Jeff Skinner ahead of Ekman Larsson, who gets back, but he's bottled up by Skinner. Jeff Skinner along the boards for Carolina. Pops out. Doan sends it back for McCulloch as Arizona's hemmed in. Eric Stahl takes a hit to make a play. Goes off Skinner. It's legal. It stays in play, and now it's played here by Sekera. Furthered by Tolusti. Accepted by Arizona's Zbynek McCulloch. And getting to it now is Mikhail Bachter. And they'll survive as they get it from their own zone.
There's the Riley Nash center line with Gerby and Lindholm in the first period. The captain, along with Skinner and Tolusti, have picked up that pace and been the leaders here in the second.
Bachter had the stick knocked out of his hands. He wanted a call, none provided. Now Lindholm, it goes by him. It comes all the way back. Icing is called here against Carolina. Hey, Caniacs catch a full hour of Carolina Hurricanes hockey talk with our good friend Mike Maniscalco during Coors Light Canes Corner at the Backyard Bistro. The next one is November the 6th at 7 p.m. Special guest Elias Lindholm,
who trains with Oliver Ekman Larsson. At least he did at times this summer. And Victor Rask actually used to be a teammate of Oliver Ekman Larsson's in the second tier at the time of the Swedish Elite League.
Ekman Larsson was the 6th overall pick in 09. Now comes all the way back. Martin Hansel in control. Hit on the play by Riley Nash. The Coyotes now from their own territory. Connor Murphy for Sam Gagne. A little chip and a foot race, but Riley Nash for Carolina will win that one. Tim Gleason off the boards. Underneath it and out. Nash carried by Harrison out to the center ice area. Elias Lindholm will shovel it in. Connor Murphy back ahead of the pest Nathan Gerby. David Schlemko forechecked by Lindholm. Lindholm stays with him now, goes by Gagne, and again back out.
Well, because of the training, Lindholm and Oliver Ekman Larsson's, both of their moms have become quite friendly. I know Elias's mom's name is Jill, and she married a Bruce Willis look-alike and former NHL player, and Mikhail Lindholm.
And we will see the team that he played with in the NHL, the LA Kings, tomorrow. Brad Malone holding onto it off the goalpost, short side, and Smith lost track of the rebound. It's carried out here by Martin Hansel. At his side, Brandon McMillan, his shot, good stick by Brett Belmore, and it goes out of play. 5:36 left to go in the second period. Brad Malone looking for his first goal as a Hurricane. He comes close off the heavy metal. 19, you're young, it's not falling, you're pressing. Tonight, great start for Elias Lindholm.
I think he's looked at some video. I think that he's improved his practice habits. Hopefully that continues. And he's gone to the areas where when you have to simplify your game and build confidence, then you have to go. Now he's gone to the front of the net. You mentioned his father played for the Kings. One of his first shifts, his father playing for the Kings, he was on a line with Wayne Gretzky and Mike Krushelnyski, and he went to the back of the net. He got off the ice, and Mike Krushelnyski said to him, he said, Mikhail, actually, that's where Wayne likes to go. And I believe that happened in Maple Leaf Gardens.
That's the office, right? Here's Yuri Tlusty, Stahl for the front. Goes between the legs of Stahl, hammered by Skinner high. Delayed whistle. A penalty upcoming here against Arizona. As it comes all the way back, Sakara's on it. Ward's to the bench. 6 skaters out. They touch up, and Carolina will get their second power play.
It's going to be a trip.
Phoenix number 26, minor foul.
Stone's second penalty of the game. Let's look for 26. Oh, nice little move to the inside to be able to draw the penalty. That's a work ethic drawn tripping call.
So Michael Stone, the young 24-year-old defenseman, will take a seat. Carolina has Eric Stahl, Yuri Tlusty, Jeff Skinner, Justin Falk, Victor Rask, caught by Smith. A bullet wrister from Justin Falk. Duke Energy power play numbers here. Let's take a look. First 2 games for the Hurricanes on the power play, red hot as they were in training camp. Since then, bit of a scuffle.
Eric Stahl won the draw against Joe Vitale. Vitale's a face-off specialist. That led to that chance.
Off the draw, McCulloch along the boards by Falk, and again in the Arizona bench, actually by the bench and in the crowd along the far side. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the second period.
Vitale gets Stahl back. I actually have heard, I think Joe Vitale lives in the offseason, maybe in St. Louis, and, and has been known to practice face-offs with his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I face off with my wife all the time.
Oh, you're
Not
on
pretty.
tonight. But she actually has helped him with his draws in the offseason.
I could use some help. Now Rask, point to point. It goes high. Smith never saw it. A screen out in front. Rask now will play it along and back out.
A couple of the Pittsburgh Penguins told me that last year, and I had to make sure to confirm it. But he's a good one in the faceoff circle.
Justin Falk with a shot. Smith scrambles back. They score! Yuri Tlusty on the spot. Power play goal. 3-0 Carolina.
Just because you have a power play, you still have to have puck retrieval. And Mike Smith gets out here and rips it off the glass, but Justin Falk handles it beautifully. What a play by Falk. And we began the night by talking about Yuri Tlusty, and 5 of his 6 goals have been within an arm's length of the crease. Now, there had been a little contact, but I don't think it was anything in the neighborhood of goaltender interference. It was actually the puck contacting Smith, maybe even in the head, on the shot from Falk. But Falk, with that new cage based on the injury, had no problem keeping that in. Very impressive.
Very nice. Zach Boychuk now for the Hurricanes in control. Boychuk, tough angle, shut down by Smith. He'll squeeze those pads, and a disturbance breaks out. Coyotes getting frustrated, and the Hurricanes, to their credit, going right to the goal, right for the net. They will separate here. Hurricanes scoring on the power play tonight. You can stop by any participating Bojangles between 5:30 and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning and say, I'm a Caniac and it's bow time. You get your free Bojangles Bowberry Biscuit. Log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com/Bojangles for rules and participating locales.
It's such a big part of preparation. The video meetings that go into preparing for a team like the Coyotes, you know Mike Smith and his puck handling ability is going to be talked about. So Falk knows he's going to try to get out there and clear it himself. And Justin handled it in just a perfect manner off the glass.
Justin Falk gets the only assist on Tolusti's 6th goal of the season. Power play strike. Hurricanes by 3. Michael Stone flushed out by Elias Lindholm. Played along the boards. Vitale broken up. Riley Nash sends it back for Tim Gleason. Shots as we see, 24-12 Carolina. All the way across now. Nash sidestepping a hip check thrown at him by Keith Yandel. Chipchura on Nash. Kyle Chipchura has the puck for Arizona, and out they go. Brandon McMillan along the boards, tied up by Gleason. Along with Nash, Riley Nash on Yandel. Play is offside. We get a whistle. With the Canes scoring 3 or more goals tonight, go to papajohns.com tomorrow. Enter the promo code CANES3 to get a free large pizza when you buy a large regular priced pizza online at participating restaurants. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Boy, I mean, I look at a couple of the saves Cam won. Mike Smith made a few dazzling ones, especially on Skinner at 2-0. But that next goal was going to be so important. Hurricanes get it. Cam Ward. Remember that beautiful save he made coming across early with that left pad at 2-0.
Skinner on the right side with Eric Stahl and Yuri Tolusti. Stahl actually won that battle, fending off 2 Coyotes to allow a chance at a breakout the other way. Here's David Schlemko. Then we get back for Connor Murphy. Schlemko from neutral ice. Off the stick of Tolusti, carried in offside. Martin Hansel well in the zone.
Let's take a look again at Justin Falk and the play he makes. Left side of your screen, look at Smith. He's out. I guarantee that was part of the preparation. Yeah, he does it with his left hand. He sees his left hand through. I mean, I can tell you. I know the difference between, you know, when you have to look through that wiring and not. And he makes the play, gets it on net very quickly, so good for him.
Ekman Larsson now will feed it in. Sekera back, paired with Falk. Shane Doan, forechecking Vermette. Good save by Cam Ward on the chance by Antoine Vermette.
Good coverage in front of the net. I mean, the only players that were even close to the slot were all wearing black jerseys.
Vermette had 24 goals last season for the Arizona Coyotes. Back out to center ice. Jay McClement intended for Pat Dwyer. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Under 3 minutes left in the second period. Play comes to a halt. Whistle dead at the Arizona line.
I mentioned that Ekman-Larsson and Victor Rask played for a team called Leksand. And that team is now in the first division of the Swedish Elite League. But actually, when Victor Rask was 16 years old, he played 8 games with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And now they have the thrill of playing against each other in the NHL.
After that offside call, it's played along the boards now by Schlemko. He turns it over. Chris Terry off a body wide off Zach Boychuk out in front. Justin Hodgman now will clear it all the way back in. A foot race ensues. No icing. Klinkhammer goes hard at Brett Belmore, who takes a seat. Chris Terry moves it off Hodgman and back out to center ice. Here's Victor Rask. Approaching David Schlemko. Connor Murphy is back. Good support by Rob Klinkhammer. And they start the breakout. Neutral ice. Harrison D-to-D. Tim Gleason. He'll dust it off and go deep. Mike Smith out to play it. He'll wrist it along the wall. Klinkhammer golfs one ahead for Chipchura. Off a stick in front of that Arizona bench. They get back after it and start over.
We love the name Klinkhammer. He played for Bill Peters in the American League. Bill Peters loves it.
Nicknamed the Colonel. Gotta like that. Colonel Klinkhammer.
I prefer Sanders, but I'm a poultry kind of guy.
Well, you know, some of our older fans remember the great show Hogan's Heroes. 1:40 left to go in the second period. 3-0 the count. Elias Lindholm with 2 goals tonight, and the Hurricanes putting in a total team performance.
I mean, it really has been an all-hands-on-deck type thing. Right from starting the game on time, which was one of Bill Peters' big edicts when he got the job.
Out to center, 2-on-2. Here they come. Lindholm over the line, walks in, out in front. Smith shuts the door on Nathan Gerbe.
IQ is such a big part of playing goal. We talked about it with Ryan Miller the other night. We've seen it from Cam Ward. And Smith is just going to anticipate. Lindholm, boy, maybe he thought the coverage that Stone had was good. Maybe he took a look out of his right eye. Maybe he read Lindholm's eyes. And so he knew he wasn't going to shoot the puck, and he had a jump on this pass coming across, and that's how he made the save.
Sekera moves it inside. Joe Vitale. Keith Yandel. Pass intended for Brandon McMillan. Cam Ward had to wait in the trapezoid. Chip Chora ahead now for Vitale out in front off a body. What a save! Cam Ward, maybe his best.
Yeah, and with the more liberal view on a kicking motion, that would have been a good goal for Yandel, jumping in down 3-0. You know, that pad was right up on that post.
Outstanding reactions by Cam Ward. Now it's carried out here by Joe Vitale. Under a minute left in the second period. 3-0 Hurricanes out of the corner. 4 men go in hard. Eric Stahl, Brett Belmore for Carolina. Vitale, Chip Chura for Arizona. Botker joins the fun. Out of that cluster, they continue. They grind it along the boards. Referee says move it. They comply. Justin Falk to the outside, off the glass, all the way back out. Goes out of play along the Arizona bench. We get a stoppage.
Post to post. Find the post and get your skate right up against it. Followed up with that pad. You're not going to see a better example. Yeah, that would have been a good goal. What a job by Cam Ward. Oh, seamlessly. And Walker was even there. If that puck had elevated off of Yandel's skate.
Antoine Vermette, outstanding on faceoffs, opposed here by Jay McClement. 35 and a fraction left to go in the second period. Shane Doan, as we see, comes in. Good job by Clement. Hainsey held in by McCulloch. He's pressured by Victor Rask. 27 seconds left to go in the second period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back in his own zone. Out to center ice. Arizona moves it back. Ekman-Larsson has to move it by McClement, who choked it off. Now it's played here by Antoine Vermette. 11 seconds left in the second period. 2 goals in period 1 from Elias Lindholm. And they add to it with a power play goal in the second from Yuri Tlusty. As the horn sounds, 2 down here in Raleigh. First game back home for Cam Ward and the boys. It's been good. Nathan Gerbe will be Trip Tracy's guest as part of the PNC Bank second intermission with Chantel McCabe. 2 periods down at PNC Arena. And the Hurricanes with a 3-0 lead over the Arizona Coyotes. Lucky Lindy having a big night. Yuri Tlusty continues to pour it on. Everybody smiles, and that's good. Carolina Hurricanes hockey is brought to you by North Carolina Education Lottery. All or Nothing is the exciting new draw game from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Match all or match none and win the top prize of $250,000. Either way wins. By Raleigh Orthopedic. Go where the pros go. Raleigh Orthopedic. And by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. That player's been a big part of it all season. Yuri Tlusty, we're back inside PNC Arena. Coors Light, cold hard facts as we see number 19. And part of the equation for him already this season is the fact that he is tied for the league lead in terms of power play goals with Trevor Daley of Getty Malkin, Gus Nyquist of Detroit, and Corey Perry of Anaheim.
And I love that statistic. You know, if you have success early on the power play, it gives you confidence at 5-on-5. But what I liked most is on a goal that was scored in Edmonton, he was playing on a line with Riley Nash and Alexander Semin. It was his speed at 5-on-5 that helped create the goal, and then his goal in Vancouver was at even strength. So he's showing that he's not a one-trick pony, and Toulouse, even when he hasn't scored, has never been a one-trick pony.
Back-to-back starts for Cam Ward, a loss in Vancouver. But tonight, he has looked at 14. He had a strong week of practice. It's led to the back-to-back call from Bill Peters.
and he was deserving of the call, and he's made the coach look very smart. But the coach was very smart at the practice facility Thursday to watch Cam very closely, because it was very evident that his practice performance was sterling.
We get ready for the third period. John Forsland, Trip Tracy, Chantel McCabe, along with our fine crew. We will see the Los Angeles Kings, the defending Stanley Cup champions, tomorrow night right here. You can see it here on Fox Sports Carolina, starting with Hurricanes Live. Chantel will be joined by Shane Willis, who we added to the crew here tonight. That'll start at 4:30. Face off shortly after 5 p.m. The Hurricanes hit the road. We're in Columbus on Tuesday. So they have a 3-goal lead, looking for their first win of the season. The Coyotes have dropped 2 in a row. Third game for them in a 4-game road swing that ends tomorrow in Washington.
John, you and I have noticed that Jiri Tlusty looks faster. Let's look at a clip here. Watch the left side of your screen. Here he comes underneath the puck. Turns and burns. Creates a good chance. Nash scores on a follow-up here with a redirection after Tlusty comes up with a puck retrieval. But that's an extra step that he did not have last year.
Well, he was injured in the first week of training camp, and that injury put him behind. Had a hard time getting to the pace that Bill Peters likes to talk about, and he fought that most of the season. Probably put some pressure on himself, too, because it was the last year of a contract in which he earned a 1-year extension, so to speak, this past offseason.
And lost in all of this is he blocked a shot in practice in Vancouver, and then during the game against the Canucks. And the way he limped onto the plane, coming back from British Columbia, didn't practice Thursday. We didn't even know if he'd play. This is a hockey player, in my view. As you're trying to really impact, and I think Ron Francis and Bill Peters are taking some real positive steps to creating the culture you want. To me, I see Jiri Tlusty. You want him scoring, but even if he's not, you want him in the middle of that culture.
The line's been good. McClement through the blue and out. And that line tonight is Eric Stahl, Jiri Tlusty, and Jeff Skinner, with Skinner on the right side out of the corner. Laid here on a cycle by Patrick Dwyer, who returns from injury tonight. Sam Gagner going down. Play continues. McClement, Malone, Dwyer for Carolina. Jay McClement, stick tied up by Keith Yandle. Loose puck as we see. Yandle's away. Through the center zone, Sam Gagner in full flight. But the Coyotes are offside, and Keith Yandle doesn't like it.
Sons of NHL players. Vincent Gagner. Boy, his father, Dave Gagner, what a player. Connor Murphy, son of Gord Murphy. Elias Lindholm's father played in the NHL. Patrick Brown, son of Doug Brown, started the year with the Hurricanes.
Sam Gagner was picked by Edmonton, and a few years ago, a couple years back, in 2012, he had an 8-point game against Chicago. 4 goals, 4 assists, as Smith handles that one. You would think that's a team record, right? Well, it's not. He tied the record of you-know-who, 99. Now, Rask broke it up by Chip Chura.
And what's Sittler's record?
10 points.
Oh, yeah. That's just an average ho-hum 10-point night.
10-point night. Toronto Maple Leafs.
You deserve
NHL
a beer
record
after an effort like that.
You sure do. Now they go D to D. Connor Murphy in control. Just about 2 minutes gone in the third period. Shots dominated by Carolina. On the scoreboard, it shows the kind of effort they have had tonight, but still lots of time left. Along the boards now. It punches out. In control with 2. Elias Lindholm shielded by Keith Yandle. Marty Erat in control for Arizona. He'll wind it up. Inside it goes Martin Hanzal. Justin Hodgman. Now Hodgman tries to move it ahead. Getting back is Riley Nash. Away from Hodgman, in control. Played off the boards and back, but not out. Held in momentarily by Keith Yandle. Now a foot race. Justin Hodgman coming back on Lindholm, who clears it to an open corner. Michael Stone out to center ice. Tomorrow night, a live interview with Jordan Stahl, who continues to rehab and come back from that terrible injury sustained in Buffalo during preseason. Canes and Kings tomorrow night.
Well, and Jordan was in the best shape of his career, and you hope that will help him fight through this adverse time and come back more quickly. The Canes want to use their entire bench, and it's a cushion of 3-0. They want to take advantage of one tomorrow.
Tlusty, Stahl, fanned on by Skinner. The back pressure from Shane Doan, and out they come. Doan 3-on-2 partially. Skinner gets back. Shot taken, fumbled by Ward. He handles the rebound. Shane Doan, the rebound opportunity. First shot taken by Rob Klinkhammer, and Carolina can't get it out. McCulloch to an open corner. Goes by Shane Doan as we see. Mikkel Bucker for Doan down deep. Coyote captain given a shove by Carolina's captain Eric Stahl. Loose along the boards. Yuri Tulusti check. Wedge there that time by Antoine Vermette. And we see it pop all the way down to Mike Smith.
Falk and Sakharov had another confidence-building night. A rare rebound from Ward, and they were there with the coverage.
Keith Yandel hammers one wide of Cam Ward. Along the boards, Lori Korpikoski looking for Sam Gagne. Korpikoski up top. Butker off a stick. Korpikoski on a cycle. Here's Gagne. Butker out in front. Never got to him. He was covered by Cam Ward. The Carolina Ale House, the place to see the Canes on the road. We're talking about cool bars. The next one will be at Briar Creek on November the 4th. Log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details.
The attacking zone, the Hurricanes have fought to be on the offensive side of the puck. Let's see if they're on the defensive side of the puck here. Not on the first try, but Sakara is. Sakara told me he has learned since his early days in Buffalo to be much more mentally strong after a tough night.
Connor Murphy off a body, controlled by Jay Harrison. That body was Chris Terry, who's hobbling a bit as he goes to the Carolina bench. It's carried by Mikkel Butker on the off wing. Shifting gears, walking in. Good defense by Jay Harrison. And Ward was able to take away the lower portion. Now Zach Boychuk for the front. Tulusti, he'll cut. Boychuk in control. Winds one off the blocker of Smith. Along the boards, Connor Murphy away for Sam Gagne. And out they come. Little back heat on him from Tulusti, but he got it deep. Ron Hainsey ahead of Butker. Laid inside, McMillan. Stolen here by Sam Gagne. He attempts to win a battle. Eric Stahl is on him now. Jeff Skinner's away. Pickpocketed by Joe Vitale. Stolen by Eric Stahl. Back out to center ice.
I mentioned Butker had a meeting with head coach Dave Tippett at the end of practice yesterday. He hasn't scored, but I think he has been a noticeable player for the Coyotes.
Now along the boards. Cleared back out by Brett Belmore. Controlled by Kirby with Skinner. Good sweep check by Sabinik McCulloch. Brandon McMillan for Vitale and now Folk. Puck is on edge. Settled down by Andre Sakara. Sakara for Carolina walks in. Tough angle off the stick. Off the knob of that stick of Mike Smith. Now it goes by Carolina's Elias Lindholm all the way back. Justin Folk in control. Little chip that time by Elias Lindholm. Smith out to play it. A turnover. Lindholm centers one and Smith recovers. Out of the corner. Martin Hansel has control. Arizona is away. Hansel over the line. Erat with a shot. Caught by Cam Ward.
Nearly a gift-wrapped hat-trick goal for Elias Lindholm for Mike Smith. He had a hat-trick here in the preseason, didn't he? And his third goal was an empty netter. Cam Ward is able to absorb that. Hold on. Two face-off coming up here. I know it's 3-0, but Hansel has been by far the Coyotes' best man in the face-off circle with that big body as he's won 6 of 8.
And again, these two teams are 1 and 2 coming in. We will set up this draw in the Carolina zone as we see it. Justin Hodgman on the faceoff, number 12 in white, won cleanly back by Carolina's Jay McClement. At the line, Yandel pickpocketed by Dwyer. It comes out, flung in the zone by Michael Stone. Ward had it for a moment, now Tim Gleason. Paired on defense with Jay Harrison. Ed Manning for Jay McClement. Indirectly ahead now, Malone's in, but Pat Dwyer was offside. 13:59 left to go in this third period. Carolina 3, Arizona no score.
Welcome back to the third period. We hope you all had a good Halloween. And who doesn't love a good Halloween costume? The Canes players had some pretty clever ones. Elias Lindholm with 2 goals tonight. You see his Victor Rask. He's celebrating his American pride. Chris Terry as a squirrel. That's an interesting one. Zach Boychuk went as the prince from Ariel, the Disney movie. And this is a throwback from last year. I believe we're about to see it. Brett Belmore actually went as a Frozen character that his girlfriend made. And this is a throwback from last year. Anton Hudobin, this was his rendition of what a marshmallow is supposed to look like. Guys?
Very nice.
Anton Hudobin would love to wear that in the net so he'll never get scored on.
Yeah, that's the old...
Cover the whole net.
That's right. That's right. Now to the corner. You didn't get involved, not in that party, but in any type of Halloween theatrics, did you?
I did not have one single trick-or-treater where
Really?
I choose to call home, which I was ready for.
Were you?
Yeah.
All right. Now turning is Doan. What a stop. Cam Ward is on the money tonight. Excellent save off the stick of Shane Doan out in front. Vermette tries to bulldoze his way through. A penalty is called here for hooking. 13:30 left to go in this third period. And we'll pick up the call.
Maybe a hook to Toulouse.
Carolina, minor penalty for hooking.
More importantly, what a save from Cam. If Cam's fighting for his confidence, he would have been moving when Doan took his shot. Here's a look at that hook on the hands. Good call by the referee, but I love the save. Cam didn't have time to get out of the blue paint, so he made sure to be set and stationary and made a heck of a stop.
So 13:30 on the clock, and remember, Arizona has a dynamite power play, so we'll see what happens here. Toulouse for hooking, penalty assessed at 6:30. Off the draw, Gagne, Martin Hansel, Marty Erat to the point, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Going wide, Keith Yandel, Ekman-Larsson, sharp save by 30 again. Cam Ward kicks it out with a purpose. That comes all the way out to neutral ice. Marty Erat, Sam Gagne. Back to the point, Ekman-Larsson in control, Yandel. Ekman-Larsson faking shot, Gagne thinks about it. Inside it goes, skate the stick, Erat. He's peppered on the play by Harrison. Gagne, Ekman-Larsson. Yandel, good stick defensively, Jay Harrison again. Carolina gets it out.
Good rangy stick from Harrison, but that puck just explodes off of Oliver Ekman-Larsson's stick.
Sam Gagne gains entry. They feed it across, fielded by Erat. Yandel at the point. Ekman-Larsson. Yandel hammers one, tipped off the side of the goal. Moved by Sekera. Stolen by Arizona. Erat out in front off sticks. Ward says no. Moving across on Gagne as the Hurricanes attempt to get it out. Gagne one more time. Great stick by Cam Ward. Back to the point. It goes by Yandel. They kill more time.
Again, they've been working on that stick with Cam to make it more of a weapon in all situations.
Now a steal for Andre Sekera. Short-handed. Fumbled a bit. Hung on to by Mike Smith.
Well, you can see they've been stymied tonight, but why this Arizona power play's been good. Watch Ekman-Larsson. I mean, it just explodes. And that's not even much of a windup. Cam Ward going to his left, say back to his right. And you see 11 Hansel in front. Your net front presence guy, he has the edge on getting to pucks and retrieving them behind the net, too. You and I talked to Bill Peters about this. So if you have a good net front presence on the power play that's a big body, if you miss the net, you have to go back and get possession. He has the big edge in doing that for you.
All right, now Vermette will get it back for Keith Yandel with that much time left in the power play. Oliver Ekman-Larsson moves it across. Vermette getting it back now to the point. Played outside the blue line by Keith Yandel. Arizona down to 14 seconds on the power play. Ekman-Larsson. Brad Malone square at him. This is Shane Doan. Fielded by Carolina's Ron Hainsey. Mike Smith out to play it. Toulouse up and ready. Carolina has killed off the fourth power play tonight by the Arizona Coyotes. Ekman-Larsson gains the zone, but the Coyotes are offside.
Cam Ward's best home start. Boy, I'd have to go a long time back to figure out what I would compare this home start to. He had some good road ones down the stretch, but he has had style points tonight, you know, where you don't look like you're going to beat him. I mean, that's his best of the night early in the second period in the 2-0 hockey game, but he's had that, you know, boy, you're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink and you're not going to solve him tonight, style points.
Puck comes all the way back in the Coyotes zone. A nice look from ice level. It's whipped around. 11:09 left in this third period. John Tripp and Chantel with you as always. Here on Fox Sports Carolinas. Canes and Kings tomorrow, starting with Hurricanes live at 4:30. Comes all the way back out. Connor Murphy ahead of Yuri Toulouse. Los Angeles on a long road trip that started in Philadelphia. Went to Pittsburgh, played last night in Detroit. They will finish off in Dallas on Tuesday. Martin Hansel tied up by Eric Stahl. Carried out by Nathan Gerbe. Gerbe goes wide of Stone. Off the blocker of Smith. It goes high in the air. Gerbe out in front. Handcuffing Skinner, who gets it off the goalpost. What hands by Skinner? Marty Erat cushions that puck all the way back out.
You can see what the work ethic of Gerby provides to your lineup. Skinner could have 3 goals tonight. I mean, that's a thing of beauty to backhand that puck quickly off that pipe.
Outstanding. Now it's free. Bottker shifting in his own territory, handing off to Michael Stone. Just about halfway through this third period, Stone headmans the puck for Gagne. Drop pass, Bottker. Ward got a piece of that one, and it goes out of play.
Bottker had a full head of steam. That's another underrated save. But Jeff Skinner, I mean, this is... You can see why Bill Peters was so excited to get Gerby and Dwyer back. Gerby got the puck to Skinner. Smith plays deep. I mean, that had a lot on it for a backhand, and it got to the net in a tough shooting position in the snap of a finger. That's the skill level that is elite of Jeff Skinner.
Sam Gagne facing off here against Jay McClement off the draw. Hainsey for Carolina. Brad Malone. Connor Murphy is back. David Schlemko in control. Forechecking Patrick Dwyer. Out of the corner, Dwyer to the point. Hainsey holding onto it at his side. McClement. McClement now walks it past Gagne. Throws on the brakes. Jay McClement grinding in the Arizona zone. Loose here for Laurie Korpikoski. He attempts to get it out. Gagne will with Bottker as they crisscross, but it's read at the line by Hainsey, and Carolina starts again. Brett Belmore. Shot, but not deep enough by McClement. Now a little chip from Arizona's Sam Gagne. They get a line change. Belmore flushed out by Brandon McMillan. A lead pass out to center ice. It's Kyle Chipchura. When we get back for Ekman Larson. Another chip this time by McMillan. Getting after it here. Vitale off a body off Gleason. Carolina defends it well. They come all the way back and back out to the neutral zone.
That's the trapezoid right there. If the goalie can handle the puck, that collision doesn't happen. That's why it was put in the first place, to try to create offense in situations like that.
Puck rolls all the way in on Cam Ward. He'll move it to the corner. 8:49 left in this third period. Unattainable pass intended for Chris Terry. Icing is called here against Carolina.
Carolina's rolling 4 forward lines, 3 sets of defensemen. I mean, I think, I know you're a big analytics guy. You know, the analytics always, that's the soup du jour right now in the NHL, is if you have 2 goalies, you use them both in a back-to-back, especially when you have an early start time. But Cam Ward, at least, is making the coaching staff's decision very interesting, playing against Jonathan Quick and the Champs.
Off the draw now. Along the board, Stone inside. Harrison gets to it, out to center ice. Chris Terry pulls up, lays it in front. Smith a dandy on Zach Boychuk. Out of the corner, Chris Terry takes a hit to make a play. Eric Stahl whips one off Michael Stone. Rob Klinkhammer has it, and away they go, 3-on-3. Klinkhammer in the skates of Doan. It's offside. 8:20 left to go in this third period. We have the Phantom Cam all weekend long. A great look as we slow it down at Cam Ward, who's had a great night. Time for Coors Light. Cold hard facts. I like this one. Shane Doan is part of a group of players, longest tenured players with the current team in each sport. Patrick Eliash, Colby Bryant, Jimmy Rollins of the Phillies, Sebastian Janikowski, the kicker of the Oakland Raiders, and of course the great Tom Brady of the New England Patriots.
I think the captain on the other side, talking to him this morning, Eric Stahl said it best. You simply are not going to meet a better person than Shane Doan. You really won't. I mean, he is an exceptional human being, and I'd love to see him somehow win a Stanley Cup. He was close a couple years ago with our old friend Ray Whitney.
Right.
I'd love to see him win one.
Well, the thing about it, we'll get to it in a second here. Martin Hansel, pickpocketed a bit by Riley Nash, is what Shane Doan has dealt with off the ice, too, in that community. After starting as a Winnipeg Jet, a first-round pick in '95, then the move, which is never easy, city to city, and then the issues this franchise has had away from the rink, which have been incredible, and he's been managing all of that when playing at the top of his game.
He is just, and he's a person of phenomenal faith. He does it very anonymously. And our director, Mike Roth, just said it best. He used to produce the Coyote telecast. Every captain in the league should be required to spend a week with Shane Doan. They'll be better captains. That's just how good of a person and a captain he's been for a long time.
Chipchura now winding back. And Dave Tippett has done an excellent job coaching this team too. Don Maloney, the general manager, with all of those financial issues they've had. They've managed it well. As it goes past Mike Smith, the NHL actually ran this franchise for a number of years. Now they have brand new ownership, and hopefully they can make a go of it in a beautiful building. It's just the location has been the issue, and winning the fans back, of course, is the key thing. Loosen back of the goal. Eric Stahl pressured by Mikhail Butker. 6:45 left in the third period. 3-0 Carolina, seeking their first win. It's knocked down by Mike Smith.
Good to see Darcy Regier, the longtime Sabres GM, part of Don Maloney's management team. And Ron Ralston and Brian Ralston just jumping on board.
Along the boards now, former Hurricane Sean Burke, the management position and the goaltending coach here with Arizona. Now Malone turns it over. McMillan off the paddle of Cam Ward. It's loose. Patrick Dwyer tries to clear. Connor Murphy had it, lost it now. James McClement knocked out of midair by David Schlemko, but he gets it deep.
And Steve Sullivan, a very, very good player for a long time. Smaller forward, running the forward development for Arizona.
Dropped off for Chipchura. Good back check. Getting to it. Elevating the puck out of the zone. Brad Malone. Schlemko through the middle. Glove down by Vitale. Under 6 minutes left in this third period. Shots as we see 31 Carolina, 22 Arizona. 2 goals from Elias Lindholm and a power play goal from Yuri Talusti. Riley Nash with Lindholm this way. His shot fought off by Smith. Nash had his stick lifted by Doan. Loose right out in front. Coyotes will survive, I believe, as Vermette attempts to get it by Sekera and will.
The neutral zone starting to look more and more structured. There it was, and nearly leads to a hat trick for Lindholm.
Justin Falk, who has played well tonight, denied by Smith. Rebound chance. What a dandy! Smith somehow got a pad to it. The follow-up by Justin Falk.
You have to compliment Mike Smith. His compete in this game. A couple of early goals, and he has made some sparkling saves since.
He's battling. It goes off the stick of Jeff Skinner. It goes out of play. 4:59 left in this third period. 41 in the white, doing all he can for the Arizona Coyotes. How about this sequence right here? Down the stretch in Raleigh. The Hurricanes get right back to work tomorrow in a big way. The defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings are here. We have all the action on Fox Sports Carolinas. Kicking off with Hurricanes live at 4:30. Face-off shortly after 5 o'clock. Trip Tracy will be between the benches. We'll hear from Jordan Staal for the first time since his injury. We have a lot planned for a big night.
I think we'll also hear from a Hurricane great. Nobody ever had better chemistry with Rod Brind'Amour than Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams. And I have the fondest memories of Justin, and I'm so happy for his success.
Great Hurricane. He's turned into an outstanding Los Angeles King with the 2 Stanley Cups there, 3 in his career. You mentioned Game 7s. He is 7-0 in Game 7 situations. Belmore wide of Mike Smith. 4:25 left in this third period. We will have total post-game coverage tonight after this one with Hurricanes Live as the Canes seek their first win of this season. Belmore ahead of Korpikoski and back out.
And Justin loved being a Carolina Hurricane. He really, really did. To go and win cups in LA and still just absolutely think that this is a very, very special place. It's a great endorsement of the franchise.
Justin Hodgman off a skate. Gagne off the stick of Belmore. It stays in play. Hodgman is there, broken up by Jeff Skinner. Back out to center ice. Off the boards, he'll get it deep. Keith Yandel in control. 3:45 left in this third period. Carried out by Marty Erat. Skate to stick, unattainable, but he got it back. Martin Hansel inside, swatted down by Cam Ward with Hodgman on the doorstep. It goes by Erat. Played here with a hand, a gloved pass, so we get a stoppage play. Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed, Coors Light.
Well, Cam Ward has, to me, is challenged when he's needed to. This is just full-blown second, third effort, and the athleticism that was very noticeable. Quite frankly, when I first saw him attend his first training camp out of Red Deer, wearing nondescript white and black pads. And this has been something coming. You could see it against Vancouver. It was his best body language game, and then his practices leading up to this start.
And we'll see what Bill Peters does tomorrow with a back-to-back situation. and the LA Kings. And then the Hurricanes have a busy stretch. It's Columbus on the road on Tuesday, then a couple of days off before Columbus returns the favor here on Friday night of next week. And then Bill Peters' crew will then head off to Washington a week from tonight.
Well, just as Bill Peters' team has become the healthiest they have been all year, Columbus has been ravaged by injuries after their excellent year last year.
8 regulars out in last night's game they lost at home to Toronto. Now Vermette tries to go inside. 2-on-2 matchup here. It's played by Arizona's Rob Klinkhammer. 3:08 left to go in the third period. Andre Sekera looks around. Hit by Klinkhammer. In support of him is Antoine Vermette out of the corner. It's loose along the wall. Nathan Gerbe elevates the puck. You see it come back. David Schlemko is on it. Schlemko now coming all the way back in his own zone. Quick up for Shane Doan. Doan wristing one ahead. Tim Gleason in control for the Hurricanes. Along the wall. Vermette is on him. Good job by Gleason to steer it back out to neutral ice.
You mentioned 500 games as a Hurricane. Of course, a former LA King after being an Ottawa draft pick, Tim Gleason. I remember when he got on the plane with Eric Belanger in that Jack Johnson trade.
Sure do. Let's take a look at tonight's Storm Tracker while we have a chance here. The game keys and how this is played out.
Well, I mean, score first is so simple, but against Arizona, let alone you're looking for confidence to get your first win. And the Hurricanes did it with a great start to the game. Contained Yandel and Ekman-Larsson. They've done that. They worked on their defensive zone exits, and I think it's been noticeable. They've spent less time. They've made cleaner plays depending on the situation.
Bill Peters wanted pace, and I think he's been able to achieve that. We'll probably talk to him tomorrow night before the game about how you get to that specifically. Now, Vitale will go deep. Cam Ward moves it for Jay Harrison. A turnover. McMillan, Vitale blocked. Gleason got in the way. Ekman-Larsson out of the corner. The back of the goal, Kyle Chipchura. 2:04 left. Ekman-Larsson with a shot. It careens high on a tip. This way it's McCulloch. He'll go deep. Camped out Vitale. Hit by McClement. Loose again along the boards. Carolina rallies for it. Malone gets help from Dwyer, but not out. Held in by Chipchura. He's hit by Malone. Harrison will get back, and now an altercation. I believe a pair of 24s. Not much will come from it. Carolina's Brad Malone and Arizona's Kyle Chipchura.
Excellent job by the linesman, Shandor Alfonso. I don't know if we've had Shandor before.
We have not. We would remember that. No.
Great hockey name. Super job getting in. Two players that maybe have some familiarity because Malone spent last year in Colorado. Western Conference opponents.
Arizona, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 24, Carolina, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct.
Good job policing by the referees here late in this game.
That'll be it for Kyle Chipchura. To the room he goes. The same for Brad Malone. 4-on-4 situation for Bill Peters and his team down the stretch with 1:44 left.
And business that we're not going to talk about, but still business to take care of. And the players are very well aware of that. I like the fact that Gleason was still playing a very physical brand of hockey in that last shift here with a 3-0 lead.
Yandel moves it across. Mishandled by Michael Stone. Open ice. Stone now. Pickpocketed nicely. Over the line, Eric Stahl from Toulouse, shut down by Smith. He handles the rebound from an impossible angle. Good work by the captain. Along the boards now, Sekera moving it by Bottker. 1:22 left. Keith Yandel deep in his own end. He'll start again. Move it out. Eric Stahl, Toulouse, Sekera, fault for Carolina. Fair caught by Cam Ward. Hang on. A face-off with 71 seconds left.
Even on a play like that, the end of his shift, Eric Stahl, I think it was Toulouse, the Hurricanes' neutral zone is getting better and better. And if you watched it closely, I know that your systems don't have the glamour that a lot of other areas of the game do, but the Hurricanes are getting closer. Gerbe talked about it in our intermission interview. You can see it.
Off the draw, Vermette losing control. Danced out by Jay McClement. 63 seconds on the clock. Schlemko is back. Moved along the boards by young Connor Murphy. Murphy gains center ice. He'll flip it ahead. Harrison back. Chased by Doan. They jam along the boards. Dug out by Vermette. Here's Murphy. Connor Murphy off a body. Blocked by Nathan Gerbe. Murphy down the wall. Walks in. Turns. Holds onto it. Plays it to the outside. Hainsey picks him up now. 38 seconds left. Connor Murphy wheels ahead. Turning with it now, Vermette. Murphy with a shot off the mark. Played here by Jay Harrison. He'll move it. Along the wall and inside again for Doan. 25 seconds left. Here's Vermette. Taken care of by Hainsey. Kirby coming down. 19 seconds. Out of the corner. Canes will pick up their first victory of the season. Shot taken. Caught by Cam Ward at the top of the crease with 12.1 seconds left.
A couple of loose plays by a reliable veteran in Ron Hainsey here with a little thing called a goose egg on the line. Cam Ward, let's just watch him. Let's just watch him through traffic. Watch that head. Active. Doesn't take, too many steps out. He's been over-challenging at times with traffic. Just makes sure he's set as a sight line and watches it into the glove.
Comes back to Stone. His shot answered by Ward. Forked wide by Bottker. 7 seconds left. Loose out in front. Back to the point. Stone. 3 seconds now. Yandel Gagne. Ward says no. That'll do it. First ever win for Bill Peters as a National Hockey League head coach. And a shutout for Cam Ward. His first this season. His 22nd lifetime.
What a way to get his first win. For the first time all season long to break up the rotation and go with the guy that he thought looked like the guy that would win a game for him in practice. And it wasn't that Ward won the game for the team. It was a total team effort. They got going on home ice early. Lindholm 2 first-period goals. Bill Peters made a tough decision. We know who was excluded from the lineup. Hopefully he'll come back and be better than ever. But there are a lot of little things that Bill Peters did here that represent change in Carolina, and it's been coming. You could see it. You could see it in Edmonton to me. You could see it in Vancouver, and it progressed tonight, and the Hurricanes get that first win for them. Congratulations.
With the Hurricanes win tonight, kids wearing Hurricanes gear eat free tomorrow at participating Golden Corral restaurants. Log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com/food specials for all the details and help yourself to happiness. 3 stars will be announced here in this 3-0 win for the Carolina Hurricanes, their first of the season. Number 3 star, Justin Falk, and he was rock solid on the back end, sustained an injury, played through it, and was outstanding with Andrej Sekera. With a 2-goal game in his first 2 goals of the season, Elias Lindholm is the 2nd star, the 19-year-old. And the first star tonight with a shutout, Cam Ward with 25 saves. And the first win for Bill Peters. Good feeling for Cam Ward as he takes a seat next to our very own Chantel McCabe.
Thanks, guys. First, let's take a look at that smile. You had a big smile when you came off the ice. Congratulations on the win. Let's take things back to the first period. An early goal and 2 huge penalty kills. How did the momentum carry after that?
Well, we tried to get off to a good start, and to get some goal insurance is definitely a bonus. And to be able to play at home with the home fans, we appreciate the support, and hopefully this is one of many to come.
Elias Lindholm with 2 goals just tonight. You saw him play his rookie year. What differences have you seen from last year to this season?
Well, the kid's so good. I mean, he's probably one of the hardest guys to stop in practice. He's got such a great release, and you can tell that he has some jump in his step today, and he got reward for it.
This team has faced some major adversity early on, some really tough injuries, and then a tough road trip. How much of an impact will this win have for this team?
Well, it's a huge relief. I mean, obviously, this is not where we would like to be, but you're only as good as your next game, and we got a big win tonight, and we're hoping to carry it over to tomorrow.
And finally, your first shutout since March 2012. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, it's been a long time. When you get a shutout, it's a team effort, and the guys played really well in front of me, and they deserved it.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Cam.
All right, thanks.
John and Tripp, back to you.
Thank you, Chantel, and congratulations to Cam Ward and the Carolina Hurricanes as they defeat the Arizona Coyotes 3-0 tonight, led by young Elias Lindholm. But aside from him, to a man, they played with the pace the coach wanted, and backstopped by 30, they got it done. Stay with us. Hurricanes Live comes your way next. We have total post-game coverage from PNC Arena. Final count, the Carolina Hurricanes 3, and the Arizona Coyotes no score right here on Fox Sports Carolinas.